Hi there, my name's Ed Watson. I'm a teacher from Gloucester, and I've just written a book, Top Tips for New Teachers, which aims to condense all the tips and advice that I've learned over the years into a nice, easy read for new teachers entering the profession. Now, this final chapter of the book looks at personal wellbeing, which correlates very well with the chapter previously, which is personal productivity. And we're going to look at three things in particular. We're going to look at looking after yourself, planning ahead, and running by your schedule. So looking after yourself, you have to, and I've mentioned this as a recurring theme throughout the episodes. You have to be selfish. You have to understand that you cannot do everything, and that if you try and take too much on, you will lead to stress and it will lead to burnout. So look after yourself. There is a massive need. You have to look after number one. Put your own, the old cliche, put your oxygen mask on first before you start dealing with other issues. You have to look after yourself. If you're feeling like you're getting stressed or burning out, just step back, take a second. What are my priorities? What needs to be done? And then you can go from there. But be selfish. Look after number one. If you've got too much on, make sure you're turning down those other opportunities. And it's too easy to say yes. Learn how to say no. It's also really important to look after yourself, to switch off. When you're learning to teach, you've got so much on. You could work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but that's just going to lead to burnout, and you're just going to get upset. You're just going to get too stressed, and it's just not going to be productive. So learn to switch off. Don't have your emails on your work. Don't have your school emails on your home phone. Don't work Saturday and Sunday. Make sure that to start with, you might want to work 1 day a week on the weekend. But make sure you try and get off that as quickly as possible. Make sure that if you're in the hockey club, you're still in the hockey club. Make sure that if you love playing in an orchestra, that you continue playing in an orchestra, play for your football club. Make sure those things that you enjoy, you carry on doing, because otherwise teaching can become all-consuming, and you'll just basically learn to hate it, because it will take up so much of your time and you won't be able to do anything that you enjoyed doing beforehand. So make sure you do have those boundaries and stick to them. It is not a badge of honour to say, and people do, they come into school and say, I was up until 10, 11 p.m. last night doing this PowerPoint. That's stupid, right? It's just inefficient time management. So don't be one of those that's bragging about the fact that they've got 15 incredible animations on their PowerPoint slides, and then at the same time walk in half asleep because they only had 2 hours sleep last night and the lessons just fallen to pot because of it. Be that person who's made sure they're planning for the learning. Okay, this is what I want the kids to get out of it. I'm not going to do 50 incredible animations on my PowerPoint and get a Nobel Prize for that animation, something like that. Make sure you just maintain your hobbies, look after yourself, and you'll be absolutely fine. Plan ahead. So within school, there are definitely going to be pinch points. You might have a year 11 class and they've got assessments to mark. You might be an English teacher and you realise that in a couple of weeks you've got a shed load of year 8 essays to write. Plan ahead, understand where those pinch points are, and come up with a strategy to avoid you burning out in that period. It could be liaising with the head of department, it could be liaising with your mentor, it could be, you'll have loads of different strategies, but make sure you're aware of those pinch points. And also plan ahead for those important, not urgent activities that I spoke about in the last episode. It's so easy to just be firefighting day in, day out without actually solving any problems. So make a to-do list that night before. Make sure you're planning ahead. What has to happen? What can I do now to stop that burden becoming unmanageable in the future? The last bit is about running by your schedule. Don't let other people dictate what you need to do with your time. You take ownership of that time. You learn how to say no. You are becoming selfish, and this sounds horrible about becoming selfish, and I keep stressing the point, but it's you want. It's your life. I remember I spoke about someone in the book who I remember talking to him, and he said, yeah, but what you've got to realise is that every minute that I'm in school after 4 p.m. is 1 minute less that I get to see my wife and my daughter before she goes to bed at 7 p.m. And that just really hit home. It's what are your priorities? Make sure that you're not procrastinating at school, which is then having an impact to your home life. Make sure that you're balancing those priorities. Learn to say no. Don't be dictated by other priorities and other competing priorities. It's your schedule, it's your life, it's your career. Make sure that you are the boss of that. Create those to-do lists the night before, those really high key priority things that you have to get done, and prioritize those rather than the ones that are just going to fly by in the following day, that are just going to take up your time, and effectively they're just not very urgent activities. And switch off. Learn how to switch off. So it might be that you're going to have all of Saturday without any work. It might be that you're going to do the whole weekend without doing any work, and you're going to work really hard Monday to Friday. Make sure you do have time to switch off, including in the holidays. Just that's school, and then you're going to have some time off, recharge your batteries, and that's that. Now, this episode concludes the episodes of the book. I hope it's been useful for you, and I wish you the absolute best with your teaching career. If there's anything that I can do to help whatsoever, please do tweet me, Mr. Ed Watson on Twitter. It's been an absolute pleasure, and all the best.